How terrifying is a dimensional reduction attack? Watch this video carefully. It may very well refresh your understanding. This is a little man who is thinking. He is the recognized God in the two-dimensional world. The little man is constantly drawing geometric shapes. He is trying to break through the screen of the two-dimensional space. Open a door to the three-dimensional world. But even if he tries his best to blur, what he gets is always another plane. Suddenly a very special hexagon was accidentally created by him. After thinking for a long time and adding to lines, the little man finally made this hexagon into a three-dimensional cube. His worldview also collapsed at this moment. The little man tried to understand this cube, but no matter how hard he tried, he could only watch from afar. Then the cube accelerated and rushed towards him. The little man was scared and wanted to hide, but he fell into another cube. Under the influence of the cube's constant movement, he gradually awakened. He truly realized the three-dimensional concept that is higher than his own two dimensions. The little man was extremely excited. He wanted to escape this two-dimensional world immediately. Just as he was about to leave, he remembered the cube when he leaned in and looked inside. He saw himself in the two-dimensional world. The little man was startled. He quickly backed away, and the box ran away in a flash. He couldn't accept the scene he had just seen. He wanted to catch up with the cube and seek the truth. But as he chased after it, he realized he was still trapped in the plane. He didn't seem to realize. He was just a level of consciousness. Essentially, he was still a plane. It was just overlapped. But the little man wasn't discouraged. Because he wanted to enter the three-dimensional world so much, he drew a perspective drawing of a cube A, by infinitely extending his own plane view. He trapped this transcendent object, but it was still useless. After they tugged at each other for a long time, the little man who fell into the sea finally woke up. But the cube had already disappeared. So he began to recall the experience, and drew a plane unfolding of a cube A. He tried to wrap himself in it, thinking that this would make him into a three-dimensional shape, but then the scene went back to the beginning. He spent his entire life trying to pursue a higher dimension. He had clearly seen it. He had touched it. But he couldn't enter. Until he collapsed in despair, an endless loop. The profoundness of this film lies in. It very well projects the three-dimensional world of reality. Aren't humans just little men in it? We are so weak and ignorant. We yearn to use ourselves in three dimensions. The four-dimensional laws we have learned. To achieve dimensional ascension, we constantly try various methods. Even humans have indeed glimpsed a trace of the four-dimensional space. But all along, we are still confined to three dimensions. We struggle in constant pain, longing to be toyed with by the creatures in the four-dimensional world. Play with us again and again in the palm of their hands.